Hello and welcome back to the Wizards Arena, my fellow Planeswalkers. My name is Draymore, and we're going to be continuing on with our command review of Zendikar Rising. We start off blue with Churix, the Radiant Isle. 2 colors, 2 blue for the Leviathan Crab Legendary. He's a 0/17, and if you want to target him, you gotta pay 2 more. Spend 3, he gets plus X, minus X until end of turn, where X is the number of islands you control. Aside from doing silly things of playing him in the deck with the white-blue enchantment that lets damage be assigned equal to toughness, he's just bad. Really bad. I mean, maybe in mono, tribal, Leviathan, Kraken thing. As a commander, you would never play this blue guy as a commander. The only reason to play him as a commander is just for the funniness of it all. So, because of the lulls and fringe toughness play and tribal maybe, we're going to give it a 2. Otherwise, he'd just be set on fire. He is really bad. He is the worst blue card there is. No blue card in the set's worse than him. At this rarity, it's just terrible. Our next card, Confounding Conundrum. Colorless blue enchantment that cantrips. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your opponent's control, if that is not the first land for them, they have to sack a land. Return the land back to the hand, not sack it, sorry. So, it keeps ramp decks like mono green from going totally banana sandwich. So, people won't want to play their Sky Shroud claim unless they get to, it would get them the 2 lands into their hand instead of into play. So, it would kind of slow them down that way, but then there's Burgeon in, so it's kind of slowing ramp down a little bit. It's not super punishing. It's kind of a card. I don't think many people are going to play this, but it gives blue something to do against ramp, since they don't have much in the way of color specific ramp. So it's going to get a 5. It's a little something, nothing that great though. Our next card is the core Helm Chronicle. For 2 in the blue, you get a 2/2 wizard. Whenever you cast a kick spell, draw a card, then discard a card. When he enters the battlefield, look at top 5, reveal a card with a kicker ability attached to it, and put the rest on the bottom in random order. I am waiting for the Oracle text on this, because I'm not sure in Eternal formats if multi-kicker also works with him, or if it doesn't. If multi-kicker works with him, he's slightly better. So, we're going to assume that multi-kicker works. So that would mean that he's a 5. If multi-kicker doesn't work with him, he's down to a 3. Because Comet Storm and other multi-kicker stores cards get played more in Commander. But if multi-kickers don't trigger off his ability, he just won't see play. But last I checked, they had not ruled yet. And that's kind of something we need to know. Glasspool Mimic. 2 in a blue for Shapeshift and Rogue. What comes into play, make this into a copy of a creature you control, except it's also a shapeshifter and a rogue in addition. So, you can copy a warrior and have a warrior, shapeshift, and rogue. It's okay. I like creatures like this. They're kind of neat. Only bad thing is it's not an artifact or a creature or anything. But the upside is it's stapled on the rare land. So, like, it's better in that respect, but it's a little weaker than you normally expect. So, because it got the land on it, it bumps it up from a 3 to like a 4 or 5. Like, it helps it out a bunch. If it's any creature, it would also be a lot better. So we're just going to let this clock in at a 5. It's pretty much middle of the road. There's several areas it could be better at. Several ways it could have been worse. Because if it was no land on the backside, then you'd be talking of a 3 and you wouldn't play it. Our next card is the Inscription of Insight. 3 in a blue with a kicker of 2 and 2 blue. So for 4 mana, you can bounce 2 things, scry 2, draw 2, or target player makes an XX blue illusion creature token where X is the number of cards in their hand. I don't see it ever getting kicked because that's 8 mana at a sorcery speed. I don't know why they made it sorcery. Like if they made it 2 and 2 blue and had to be sorcery. Like I see why it's not an instant is because it's too cheap for their draw scenario, I think is what they were concerned about. But there should have been like some clause here that said that if you kick it, it's now an instant or something. In Commander, this is probably... It's definitely the second best one. Black is worse. Green is way better. In Commander, this is cool in the sense that I can bounce 2 creatures back that I don't want on the board. I can, scry 2, then draw 2. That's reasonable for 4 mana. And then I can make a friend. Like, I can make a blocker. This guy that I can political with, I can give him a blocker. Say, like, this guy's beating us up, so here you go, I'm helping you out. So it's kind of interesting that way. So it's not total trash, but I feel like it will only be used ever for one of the 3 effects, not all 3 at the same time. So because of that, it's getting marked down to a 3. Torn. We'll say 4. It's like the modes are nice. It's just the fact that to do them all, you can't. That's rather unfortunate, but moving on. Our next card, Jace, Mirror Mage. Colorless and 2 blue for a 4 loyal. How come I always call him a 4/4? 4 loyalty walker. Plus him to scry 2. 0 him to draw a card, reveal it, and then you remove counters off of him equal to the CMC of that card. Well, the cool thing is you can scry 2. The other cool thing is you can just 0 him to draw a card. So I don't got anything else to do on turn 3. My hand's pretty crappy. Cast Jace, 0. Snap whatever it is in the hand, or you can just scry it. The other cool thing is that it's got a kicker right here that makes it into the Ixalan version of Jace, but it does it better than Jace ever was in Ixalan. For 2, you make a mirror copy, this guy right here, and he comes in with 1 loyalty on him, and he's non-legendary. So then you can plus the 1 loyalty Jace, look at the top 2, scrying 2, and then you can use the 0 on this Jace that has the 4 loyalty and draw a card. Reveal it, and then hopefully, if it, like the land you hoped or won, he goes down a little bit, if none at all. I feel that A, because of the high loyalty on this walker, and B, because the kicker is so cheap. This is a really good version of Jace. Now, this isn't a broken Jace, this is just strong. So he's a 7. I feel like you can be able to pick him up at your local game store and it won't break your bank. He's got some interesting ideas going on. I like him a lot. And, you know, with a 3 CMC and kicker of 2, it's only 5 mana, which is very reasonable. So, I think he'll be doing stuff in Commander for quite a while. Our next card is Madden Conographer, something like that. I like this card a lot because Glimpse the Unthinkable was a black and a blue, and they milled 10. This is a colorless and a blue, and they mill 8. And has a kicker of 4 for 3 and a blue that makes them mill half their deck. So this is good in mill decks, rogue decks, graveyard fill-in decks, if you're in some kind of team format like that, or if you want to steal stuff out of their yard, like with Mimeoplasm. So this is a solid card. Like Jace before it gets a 7. I really like it. It's a little bit more than you normally pay for Traumatize, but you got flexibility. If you don't have enough to play Traumatize yet, but you want to get stuff in your yard to get going, pay 2. It's really good. Love it a lot. Master of Winds, 2 and 2 blue, for a flying 1/4. And this battlefield, draw 2, ditch 1. And then whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard, you may swap its printed power and toughness to a 4/1 or a 1/4. Okay, I guess. Like, it's a weird Sphinxy wizard. It might get played in Sphinx Tribal because it's really cheap and it's kind of got a Muldrift ability attached to it. So, for that reason only, it's getting a 3. It's not total vendor trash. It's kind of middle of the road, sort of, not really. It's a nice low-end Sphinx for the Sphinx deck because a lot of the Sphinxes are expensive. But yeah, it's doing better than the huge 0 for 17 did. That's about it. Our next guy is Nimble Trap Finder. This guy is a colorless and a blue. Can't be blocked if you play another cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you have a full party, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card until end of turn. So it's cool that it gives the whole team that ability. The advantages is Commander's a kind of eternal format, so if you're going to be making the white Commander, he could do a little more. I feel like he's going to be one of those that, you know, he's going to be in a tribal deck, maybe, kind of. So he's either going to be in tribal rogue, or he's going to be in the party commander deck, and that's it. So he gets a 3. There's like 2 or 3 decks to slot into. If you get full party, his ability is really cool, so that's why he's above a 2. And that is it. Like, not much else to report here. The Seagate Restoration, the Mythic Land. 4 and 3 blue. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. And then you can pay 1/13 of your life and have it come into play untapped if you get it early. So, again, blue has a hard time ramping. I'd gladly run this as like a 37th card, 38th card of land in my deck. The advantage is you get to draw some cards. Card draw is always nice. Disadvantages is triple blue. Another disadvantage is there's a lot of good card draw in blue already, so I think you'd rather do that. But the plus side is it's got no maximum hand size, and you also get it on land. So for those two reasons, it kind of like helps pull it up a little bit. So I feel like that makes it a 5. If it was draw cards equal to like a certain number, like 6 or 5 or draw 7, but if it was like 5 or 6, no max hand size, or 7, then it would be amazing. It would be bonkers. So I think they did a good idea of holding it back a little bit, but I think they went just a little too far on the hold back. So the land helps it a lot. It's getting a 5. It's weaker than the white mythic, but it's not the worst mythic land we have. I'll probably end up putting in a few of my blue decks, but not all of them. But the same is true with the white one. Next we have Seagate Stormcaller. Okay. Let's settle in for this big paragraph of text. Okay, I'm ready for it. You ready for it? Colors in the blue, you get a 2/1. That the next spell that you cast that's an instant or sorcery with CMC 2 or less is copied. Choose new targets. For an additional 4 in the blue, making a grand total of 5 and 2 blue, so that's 7 mana, the restriction is lifted. The problem is, that's 7 mana. That's a lot. Like, in standard, it's going to do a lot, I think. You know, in the spell singer decks. For the good spells in commander, you'd have to kick it for it. But then, a lot of those good spells are like 5, 6, 7 mana. You're talking like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mana in a turn because it doesn't have flash, because they learned from Snapcaster Mage. Like, that's a ton of mana. I mean, some decks can get there, and they can do it. But I just don't think... Don't get me wrong. It's cool. I like it a lot. But I just don't think it's going to see a ton of play. Unless it's a really fast ramping blue deck. Or blue-red deck. So, she is going to get a 6. Could have been better. They were smart. I mean, we all know that the rules committee doesn't ban blue cards. So even if they made a kicker on just like 2 blue, the rules committee would not have banned it. Our next card is Thieving Skydiver. Touchdown. This card's amazing. I love it. Colors in a blue for a 2/1 flyer. Okay. Kicker of X. You can't have X be 0. When it enters the battlefield, gain control target artifact with CMC X or less. So if you spend 1, you could take something that costs 0. But we all know what you're taking for 1 here. If you kick it for 1, you're stealing somebody's soul ring and making an enemy for life. if the artifact you take is an equipment, you can slap it right onto her. So for 3 mana, you can have a 2/1 flyer and a Soul Ring. Because somebody probably has a Soul Ring on your board. Or you spend 4 and you take that Thran Dynamo. Or you spend 3 and you take a sword. Or the list just goes on and on and on. Oh, I don't want you to have Bolas' Citadel. I got a bunch of mana. I'll just kick it for 6 and take Bolas' Citadel, you know. There's a lot of things. You can steal combat old pieces. Like, she is so cool. And the good thing is with her is it's a kicker cost that we can work with, unlike the previous person. I feel this is the best blue card we've seen. It's the best blue card there is. Don't get much better than this. It's an 8. The only way it would be more is if it was a little bit bigger in terms of body. Like if it was like a 3/4 or 2/4 for like 4 mana or something like that. But you don't want to go too crazy because then you wouldn't play it. But I love it. Gives blue more fun stuff to do. And even if you kill this girl, I get to keep your artifact. So you gotta blow up your own artifact and then somehow get it back from the yard. Really love it. My name's been Dramo with the Wizards Arena. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you've watched the video and enjoy it, give us a subscription. It helps us out a lot. I'll see you guys in the next video and have a great day.